say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real. Hey, hey. Gonna say how I feel, cause I know that it's something real.
It was supposed to go to me. Hi guys, everybody, how are you tonight? It's good to see you guys. Thank you for joining me on Keeping It Real for Story and Art number 131. Oh my goodness, that's crazy nuts. Crazy nuts. Yeah, so Gloria's here. Hi, Gloria, good to see you. And Deirdre, yay. Thanks for hitting those like buttons, guys. That thumbs up, that's cool. Deirdre's doing a little better today. Yay, that's nice. Ooh la la. Yeah. Hi, Helen. I just watched your, I was on Team Replay because I missed it when it came out as a premiere. So I just went back and watched it. It sounds very cool. I love that. That little, like the flower garden and everything. It's very nice. Like a flower patch. Very cool. Loved it. And Deirdre's here. Yes. Hello. Gloria, Deirdre, Helen. That's her. I know Angie had to, I don't know if she'll make it. She's sent me a message. She'd gotten a call and had to run off to go check on her mom, because they'd gotten a call that her mom had fallen. And so, oh, Angie's here, yay. How's your mom? I hated those calls. Yeah, those were always the scary ones when you got the call and said, you know, your mom fell, or your dad fell, or this or that. So how's your mom? Let us know, please. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it funny, Gloria, how that doesn't, when you give Reiki and whatnot, that it doesn't really drain you, it gives you more. It's pretty amazing when you have that happen. It's awesome. Yeah. So I was just checking here. I just watched Julie E. I did, oh, sorry, started yawning. I started out my morning watching Sarah Taylor, and then watched Adam Gibbs, who's a photographer, do a Lightroom kind of masking thing. So I watched that, and then went to Tarts, my art group, and my sister Sarah came, yay, which was really nice. But then she says to me, or we're picking, she grabs her phone and the Nextdoor app. She goes, "Oh, the gray whale is on the west side of the island." And I said, "What? A gray whale?" And she goes, "Oh, well, yeah, it was yesterday. Somebody saw it yesterday." And I said, "There's a gray whale on the west side of your island?" Which, okay, so the west side of her island that she lives on, this Treasure Island, it's called a Reach Island. It's got a one-way bridge that has a light, and you can go one way over to get to the island. And it's a really narrow kind of passage, and it's not very deep. If the tide's out, it could be completely dry, except for a little trickle of water, of salt water through the sound. No, but but she says, well, yeah. She says, well, I went walking around the island and didn't see it. And I'm like, but you didn't call your baby sister and tell her that there was a gray whale. So I said, well, when did this person see it? She says, oh, it was 5 hours ago. So I came home, now, granted, Sarah lives about 40 minutes away. So I came home, worked on a bunch of other stuff that I had to do, got today's video done, tomorrow's video done, all of that stuff. So just as Bob is getting ready to serve dinner, I get a message from her that says, if you expand all these pics to as close as possible, you will see a gray whale blowing in a small roll. He's about 20 feet, just a kid. And I said to her, when was this? And she says, oh, a couple of minutes ago. I'm going to have her head. We watched him head south and around between the islands. The tide's going out and it's too shallow on the west side. Okay. Let's see if I can show you this. Get these pics up that she has. Come on, come on. Okay. There we go. 1, 2. All right. So I'm going to see if I can get them and show you them on my phone. There. Okay. So if you can see that ripple right there. So that house, red house right there, is right next to the bridge. Sarah's is like on the other side. So there, if you can, kind of right above where my head is, there, I'll move it down so my head, right above my head is where the gray whale is. Seriously. And then this one, there he is again. Seriously? Wildlife photographer I am, and she doesn't call me. I could just, and look at that, 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 look at that. Seriously. So he's spotted yesterday and he's spotted there today. The tide is on the way out. So this whole stretch right here that you see, like he was heading out between those two islands, will get pretty, it's going to be a 0.22 minus 0.22 tide. Not too low, but still pretty low. It'll be pretty. So he's going to go out into the main bay. So if you go out past the main bay down there, that's the bridge to another island down there. He'll go out into the main area, probably out into Case Inlet. So, what do I have to say to my sister? What do I have to say to my sister? Oh, not applause. Definitely not applause. Like, maybe, watch out, here comes the sound effects. Like a, hey, you could have let me know. Don't you think? Really, like, how much? Ugh. So I think tomorrow morning, I'm going to grab my camera and I'm going to head over to Alan in that area, check the Nextdoor app, see if he's been spotted, see if I can go find some pictures of a gray whale. I invite my sister to our art group, and she doesn't tell me about a whale like just within 100 feet of her backyard? Really? Okay. Okay. checking back on Angie here. All right. She's back at senior care, fractured her left wrist 3 places, had a fat lip on the right side. Oh dear. Security guard was putting her in our car and hit her leg with the wheelchair, which took a big chunk out of her leg. Oh dear. Her, due to Alzheimer's, they were in the midst of a shift change, so the new staff found her lying on the floor. That's always hard. That's always hard when that happens. Oh, Angie, pour yourself your Chardonnay or her Riesling. You're the Riesling girl. You need to just sit down, pour yourself a glass of Riesling, then sit down and kick your feet up, please. Oh my gosh, that's not good. Wow. Oh. It is difficult. It's difficult. I spent a summer working in a nursing home after summer between my freshman year in college and sophomore year in college. And I worked night shift. I worked 10:30 at night to 7 in the morning. Oh my gosh. Hi there, Nathan. Nice to have you here. You're in the shower lurking because you're. So we came back from Tart, and Bob had done all this yard work. So literally, I like relaxed with my husband for a bit. We took a hot tub. I listened to India. I watched some because I could have gone and seen the whale. I'm out. You're out of Riesling. Oh no. Hey, Larry. Nice to see you. I was just talking about the gray whale that was spouted around Reach Island and over by Allen. So I'm heading over there tomorrow. Maybe it'll still be light. I don't know if I'd have enough light to get him if I can find him tonight. So nice to have everybody here. So tonight, I'm going to read a story that you probably have heard of, and you probably know about this guy because there's been a Netflix movie done based on about him, but it's still worth reading. The book I'm going to write is about the boy who harnessed the wind, and it is written by William Kamkwamba and Bryan Meale. And if you look right here on screen share, this is William. He's a New York Times bestselling author now, a TED Fellow, IDEO or Global Fellow, and founder of the Moving Windmills Project. So he didn't start out that way. His book, his autobiography, has become a New York Times bestseller. Started out with this book right here, this blue one that I'm going to read, and is an amazing story, and a Netflix film adaptation, and is awarded Alfred P. Sloan a prize at the Sundance, and it's a really amazing story, and the way it's told is pretty cool, very simple and succinct, but there's so much more to it. Anyway, currently he is designing Innovation Center in Kasungu, where young people can find the tools and mentorship need to increase crops and yields in their country of Malawi. So his co-author is this guy, Bryan Meale. He's the author of The Kings of Big Spring and Muck City, and a New York Times bestseller, Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. He's the author of All Things Must Fight to Live, which chronicled his years covering the wars in the Democratic Republic of Congo, so war correspondent. And his works appear regularly in a lot of different places. So he was the co-author with this. Now, the illustrator is Elizabeth Zunon, and she's an illustrator, author, and muralist. About her, let's go there. She was born in Albany, New York, spent her childhood in a hot, sunny, tropical country in West Africa called the Ivory Coast, where people speak French and many other languages. My mom read my little brother and me a lot of bedtime stories in English after we came home from speaking French all day at school. So she grew up loving to draw, paint, make up dances, and play dress up. So she says she didn't change. She went to the Rhode Island School of Design and got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in illustration. So she does a whole lot of beautiful things. I was looking at some of her books that she's got coming out. Like this one, Stitch by Stitch, is about a young girl, true story of a young girl who became a seamstress for Mary Todd Lincoln. That's how she bought her way out of slavery. And Bottle Tops, all of these wonderful books that she's done. I'm really interested to go find more of hers and see her artwork, because the artwork in this book is mainly done in collage, and it's really appropriate to go with the book itself, because the book is about taking things that don't fit and putting in some ways and putting them together and making something amazing. And that's what we're going to read. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. So let me get the overhead for you. Get your book in line. I think you're going to like it. Oh, Helen's got her some popcorn. Live chat. Oh, thank you, Larry. Christina's live, but I decided I'd rather. Oh, thank you, Larry. That's so nice. Oh. Oh. It's great. Okay, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I hope you give me. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. I got a message from Gail Duke the other day that said she couldn't quite hear me as well the last couple days, and she was saying that, there, I'm going to mute that, she'd had some problems with that, so I wanted to make sure that you guys could hear me. Should be right. All right. The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I'll apologize in advance. I tried to find ways how the pronunciation of some of these words that are written in Malawi. The pronunciation part that I got was not, it was obviously not accurate, so I'll do my best. There you go. And let me get my picture out of your way. Down there, a little bit better. There. In a small village in Malawi, where people had no money for lights, nightfall came quickly and hurried poor farmers to bed. But for William, the darkness was best for dreaming. I suppose I should have had a map of Malawi to let you know where it was. It is sub-Saharan Africa. Down in the southern part, landlocked around tiny little skinny country. And I had a map of it for in the front opening where the flag was, but that's where it is. So think sub-Saharan Africa, south of the equator, very, very hot. But for William, the darkness was best for dreaming. He dreamed of building things and taking them apart, like the trucks with bottle cap wheels parked under his bed, and pieces of radios that he'd crack open and wonder, if I can hear the music, then where is the band? His grandpa's tales of magic also whispered in the pitch black of his room. Witch planes passed through the window while ghost dancers twirled around the room as if 100 men were inside their bodies. This collage work is amazing. At dawn in the fields, William scanned the maze roads for magical beings, then wondered as a truck rumbled past, how does it engine make it go? Pay attention where you throw that hoe, his father shouted. You'll cut off your foot. For all its power over dancers and flying things, magic could not bring the rain. Without water, the sun rose angry each morning and scorched the fields, turning the maize into dust. Without food, Malawi began to starve. Soon William's father gathered the children and said, from now on, we eat only 1 meal per day. Make it last. In the evenings, they sat around the lantern and ate their handful, watching the hungry people pass like spirits along the roads. Money also disappeared with the rain. Papani, his father said, I am sorry. You will have to drop out of school. Now William stood on the road and watched the lucky students pass, alone with the monster in his belly and the lump in his throat. For weeks he sulked under the mango tree until he remembered the library down the road, a gift from the Americans. He found science books filled with brilliant pictures. With his English dictionary close by, William put together how engines moved those big trucks and how radios pulled their music from the sky. But the greatest picture of all was a machine taller than the tallest tree with blades like a fan. A giant pinwheel? Something to catch magic? Slowly he built the sentence, windmills can produce electricity and pump water. He closed his eyes and saw a windmill outside his home, pulling electricity from the breeze and bringing light to the dark valley. He saw the machine drawing cool water from the ground, sending it gushing through the thirsty fields, turning the maize tall and green, even when farmers' prayers for rain went unanswered. The windmill was more than a machine. It was a weapon to fight hunger. Majatsi am fafo, he whispered. I will build electric wind. In the junkyard, pieces appeared, like rusted treasures in tall grass. A tractor fan, some pipe, and bearings and bolts that required every muscle to remove. Tonga, he'd shout to the birds and spiders, holding up his prize. But as William dragged his metals home, people called out, This boy is Misala. Only crazy people play with trash. After many weeks, William arranged his pieces in the dirt. A broken bicycle, rusted bottle caps, and plastic pipe. Even a small generator that powered a headlight on a bike. For 3 days, he bolted, banged, and tinkered while chickens squawked and dogs barked and neighbors shook their heads saying, What's Misala doing now? His cousin Jeffrey and best friend Gilbert soon appeared. Muli Bwanjai, they greeted. Can we help with electric wind? Grab your pungas and follow me, he said, and took them into the forest. Together they swung their sharp blades into the trunks of blue gum trees, then hammered them together to make the tower. Standing atop, William shouted, "Bring it up!" While the boys tugged and heaved, a crowd gathered below and gazed at this strange machine that now leaned and wobbled like a clumsy giraffe. Some giggled, others teased, but William waited for the wind. Like always, it came. First a breeze, then a gusting gale. The tower swayed and the blades spun round. With sore hands once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected wires to a small bulb, which flickered at first, then surged as bright as the sun. "Tonga!" he shouted. "I have made electric wind!" "Wachita bueno!" a man yelled. "Well done!" As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew he had just begun. Light could not fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak the dry ground, creating food where once there was none. Majestiam info, electric wind can feed my country, William thought. And that was the strongest magic of all. Now, here's a little more. So William Kamkwamba was born in 1987 and grew up near the village of Wimbe, located in central Malawi. Like many people in Malawi and the rest of the sub-Saharan Africa, William's father, Trywell, was a farmer. The Kamkwambas grew a kind of white, sweet corn called maize, which they ate for every meal in the form of porridge called sima. To make money for clothes, medicine, and other essentials, they also raised tobacco to sell to the capital city of Lilongwe. Because their only food came from the ground, any problems with the weather or changes in the price of seeds or fertilizer could cause serious problems. Just checking on you guys here. So that's exactly what happened in 2001 and 2002. A severe drought killed most of the maize fields in Malawi, including those of William's fathers. Within several months, the entire country had run out of food and begun to starve, a terrible event known as a famine. Eating only one meal per day, William, his parents, and 6 sisters began losing weight. At one point, his father even went temporarily blind from hunger. The famine killed over 10,000 people in Malawi, including many in Wimbe. With no money to pay for school fees, high school in Malawi is not free like in America, William had to drop out. But instead of sulking around, he began visiting a library that was started by the American government. There he found books on science, which he loved. William didn't speak good English, so he used dictionaries to learn the words describing the pictures that so intrigued him. One of the pictures was a windmill. The words said that windmills could produce electricity and pump water. Like most people in Malawi, William's parents had no electricity, and water could be used to feed his father's fields. Never again would they have to depend on the rain. I will build a windmill, William thought. The pieces William used to build his windmill were a tractor fan, a shock absorber, and the frame of a broken bicycle missing a wheel. Let me show you this picture up close if I can. Sorry. All right. There's a picture of the real windmill that he built. For blades, He melted plastic pipe over a fire and flattened them, then carved their shape with a saw. For a generator, he used a dynamo, which is a tiny bottle-shaped device that produces electricity by turning magnets inside a coil of wire, something called electromagnetism. When the wind blew, the blades acted like pedals and spun the tire, which turned the coils inside the dynamo and produced a current. A wire from the dynamo reached down to William's room and powered a small light bulb. He was 14 years old. 14. Eventually, William used his windmill to charge his car battery, allowing him to power 4 light bulbs in his parents' house. But his dream of pumping water wasn't achieved until several years later when he built his green machine, which pulled water from a small well near his home and fed his mother's garden, allowing her to grow vegetables year-round. In 2007, William was discovered by some journalists and invited to speak at a TED conference in Tanzania. He'd never been in an airplane or even seen the internet. Many people were moved by his story and donated money to help send him back to school and eventually install a solar-powered water pump that irrigated his father's fields, forever protecting them from hunger. William, at this time, the writing of this book in 2012, was a student at Dartmouth College in Hanover, New Hampshire. He was studying to be an engineer and plans to return to Malawi to work on renewable energy for electricity and pumping water in villages, which he does. And he teaches other children and has an institute. It's just pretty amazing, the things that he's done. And there is, like I said, there is a Netflix film adaptation called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. His autobiography is a bestseller for adults. It's pretty amazing to see. There's his work. I like this quote that he has. Let me show you. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing here. Let me show you on the screen share. So I was back here about him on this. We're at his work. So it says, talent is universal, opportunity is not. Inspiring a generation of change makers from Malawi to the world. I thought this was just so wonderful. This was a book that was really popular at my school with the kids, and I'd read to them several times, and they were always like pretty amazed at what could be built and what they could do, and how, you know, what was going on. And at the time, was it this? No. Here, yeah, let me just check this. As born on. Let me see. So I'm going to share with you one of the things that we did, and I don't. Okay. So at the time when this was happening, I would do these contests with kids at school because they were always like, how did they do this? How can we help? It would spark this thing about how we help. So, and it's actually is still in use. It was a website called Free Rice that had started, freerice.com. And I'm going to show you, because I pulled it up. The cool thing about this that I would do in class, it was just hilarious. Not hilarious, but it was very cool. Where my screen share? I lost it. There it is. Okay, so Free Rice is a add a camera. Oh, there we go. Camera overlay. Oops, get this out of your way so you don't need to see me right there. Oh. hang on, that's wrong. There. Okay, so what it is it's this website where kids can go on. They can either log in as themselves, or log in as a family, or log in as a classroom, or log in as a school. And they have different fields of study. There's math questions, there's English questions, there's geography questions, there's art questions, there's all kinds of things. And you answer the question. And for every correct answer, it donates 5 grains of rice to the World Feeding Program. And so the kids we would have these contests between, we would come and we would be doing things, and we would be doing an activity, and we would sit down, and I would pull this up at recess on the computer there, or we would do it in our class, and we would spend the first 3 minutes of class, or seeing how much we could get in, with 20 kids, how many answers, they would also have they had Chromebooks. So when they brought it up, so we would take 20, 25 kids, and we would go for 2 minutes and see how much rice we could donate and how many questions they could answer. Some kids got really into this. And then I would have them say, well, okay, if you do this at home, you can go home and do this. And they go, well, I've got to, this and that. And I said, okay, so you think you don't have time, but for every hour-long show you watch on TV, 20 minutes of that is commercials. And they go, what? And I'd say, yeah, for every hour program you have, there's 20 minutes of commercials. So sometimes I know you think and you fast forward, but if you are watching it live, you could pull up your Chromebook that you have from school here, and you could do free rice during those commercials. So for the 2 minutes to the 3 minutes, you'd see how many you get. And so I had this thing going on, and they would come in and they would log it, and we would see how much is this school we've got. And then you could, by how much rice was donated it took to make a bowl, and how many children could be saved by simply having donated enough rice to make these bowls of rice. So they would click on the answer, and yay, and you'd get another one. And we'd go like this for hours. But some at recess, it was like, there you go. And the other, where is it? The other thing. So you'd have different kind of categories: difficult levels, groups, leaderboard, activity feed. So the categories can be famous quotations, pop music, current events, philosophy. Gosh, they've expanded it. Classical music, famous paintings, literature, movies, music symbols, history, all of these kind of things. And it was just, the kids loved doing this. It dropped off a little bit in popularity toward the end of my teaching there, but I did this with the kids. I know from the time this book came out, and I got it probably in 2013, we hopped on free rice, and we were doing it for about 4 or 5 years straight. And that, they would come in, and like one class would go, we fed 18 kids today, and we fed this many, that, or da-da-da-da. And it just is a really exceptional kind of thing. So it says, learn, play, and give back with free rice. Free rice is an educational trivia game that helps you get smarter while making a difference for people around the world. Every question you answer correctly raises 10 grains of rice for the World Food Program to support its work saving and changing lives around the world. And it's part of the United Nations. How can I use free rice in my classroom or my workplace? How does it raise money? They have matching funds through different corporations. So corporations that can get huge tax breaks by matching educational programs and these kind of things. And that was what they would do. So it was just a lot of fun to do. It's still one of my things. I love to sit back every once in a while and just play free rice, pick a category, do kind of things like, oh, we could do art, fine art, see if we could identify different fine art, if we can find it. Oh, different languages. I had kids learning languages doing this. They were so excited to practice this, to learn different languages. They thought it was so much fun. Their they started using it in the classroom to practice their multiplication tables, all different kind of things. Oh, it's just animals, all, yeah. It's really expanded a lot. Anyway, so that's how I used this book to connect kids to this, and then how they felt like that they could be a way that they could help too in different ways. Literature. I know there's one that's art. I can't find it. Oh well. I'll look for another time. Back to here. So, I know. Flip-flops, thongs, yeah. Yeah, Joanne, Larry's right, not too far from me. There's I have a friend in New Jersey, she calls them slides, but those aren't the thongs, aren't the flip-flops, they're the slides in. Flops, flip-flops, yep. You guys are funny. Oh my gosh. Oh, can I get any sleep now? Anyway, so tonight I just wanted to do the one story. It's just a one night. It's been a day, and I'm going to pull my camera together for an early morning excursion to go try to find that gray whale that's floating around. But if you feel so inclined and you want to check out are into ever playing trivia games, there's the website freerice.com, and it's just a kind of a fun thing, and yeah, it helps. It's a very fun way to do that. Anyway, Nathan, are you taking off? Doctor's appointment now. All right. Talk to you soon. What's the website name? It's called freerice.com, or is it free? Yeah, freerice.com, is it? Yeah, freerice.com. And it's by the World Food Program, which is part of the United Nations, and pretty amazing. There it is. Famous paintings. I found it. Okay, we're going to try this for a minute or so. Okay. Soldier and a Laughing Girl is by, okay, who knows the answer to that one? Anybody know? And the cool thing too is if you make a mistake, if you miss one, it doesn't take the grades away. Anybody know who Soldier and a Laughing Girl is by? Jean Vermeer, Jean-Baptiste Gruez, Jean-Francis Meale, or Judith Lester? Huh. Anybody got an answer? I'm gonna say Vermeer. I could be wrong. Am I wrong? Tap to show the image. The Lace Maker. Oh, cool. Tap to return to the question. The Lace Maker is by, anybody know? I don't. Francisco Goya. Looks Dutch. Oops, I'm wrong. I missed that one. I got the other one right. Poor Fisherman is by, okay, you were right. Vermeer was the one. Poor Fisherman. Does anybody know this one? What does that look like? Mark. Oops, I missed on that one too. Poor Fisherman's by Gauguin. Two little girls. That looks like Renoir, doesn't it? Or is that Van Gogh? That could be Van Gogh. Yay, Van Gogh, it comes up green. Got that one. Irises. Oh, one of my very favorite. One of my very favorite. Is it by Henri Rousseau, Claude Monet, Bertha Morisot, or Vincent van Gogh? Isn't Irises by Van Gogh? Or no, it's by Monet. Oh, I'm wrong. Van Gogh, I was right the first time. I should have listened. The Road. Very cool. So anyway, you guys, this is a great thing. It's kind of fun because I like it for the art. I'm going to go up and play it while I'm watching other stuff and getting my dose of American Idol tonight. Yes. And all of that. Let's see this one. Yay, Van Gogh again. And it's good with the kids. It always brings things back around. Oh, that's a pretty. Oh, guys. Plus the inspiration you could get for just doing this for art. I just think it's cool. That looks like Seurat. Oh, I was wrong. Monet. Oh, well. So I hope you guys will check it out. I hope you enjoyed that. It is probably one of the things that I loved, especially. It was another one of those things where we would do drawing on the right side of the brain or type of things. But at the end of the school year, when the library, I've done the curriculum, they can't check out anymore. I'm still got the curriculum I'm doing. So we would take about, out of the 40-minute class, I would take about 10 minutes to do this with them. And oh my gosh, it was just so exciting for them to see, how many grains of rice it took to make a bowl that would feed a child. And they were just like, and all it took was one bowl of rice a day to keep a child from starving. And they had the Free Rice used to have a video, and I don't know if they still have it on there. I'd have to go look, of kids standing in line to get their bowl, to get through the bags of rice being handed out to villages and places all over. And the thing is it's not just in, like right now they're supporting the Ukraine and whatnot, but after Katrina, they showed up here, and it was this helping in places here, and they go all over in places you expect that might be having starvation with the droughts in Africa and whatnot. But they don't just go in one place. It's the world feeding program, and that's what I think is so cool about it. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share because it goes with the boy who harnessed the wind, a young boy who just imagined that there was, asked that question about how did those things work, and figured out a way to do it. It's pretty amazing. So you guys, what else did I do today? For this, I did a little bit of doodle art. I'm going to kind of go, I did a neurographic piece. I'm going to go finish that and get my camera ready for tomorrow to head out early tomorrow. I think I'll go look for that gray whale. Keep your fingers crossed that it comes and finds me and I am in the right place. Ugh. Yeah. And I would love it if it would come down to our bay, but I think up at the top of the inlet, there's more krill and more of the mix up with the, there's been a lot of mussels and stuff, and the gray whales eat krill, and a lot of it mixes up there at the top of the sound. So yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to go maybe check it out. Anyway, you guys, let's check out, yes, it is good art. Good. I think it's, and they're going to deaden some nerves in my back that have strangled by arthritis. Oh my goodness, Joanne. Yeah, that, I have a lot of those too. And are they doing cortisone shots and that kind of stuff? That, it can be really quite amazingly helpful. Just remember that they're still there. Don't go overboard. That's why I had to do what I did, because I have multiple spots of bone spurs and arthritis and all kinds of stuff in my back. And so, yeah, that. I use a Canon R5 now. I've always used Canon. And when the mirrorless came out, I had a 5D Mark IV, and I turned that one in and got an R5. What I'm using as my main camera here is my 5D Mark III. I couldn't give it up. I couldn't turn it in. I've had my 5D Mark III for so long as my second camera, or it was my primary camera for a really long time. I had a 60 and a 60 Mark II as my backup camera, Larry, but this 5D Mark III, I bought it used, and I bought it at Pro Photo Supply in Portland. And it's one of those I'm going to keep for a long time. But so it makes it good for video here. But my R5 I love, absolutely love. Yeah. Hi, Julie. I watched you today. Gosh, you said, I'm so glad. I left you a message. I saw it I'm on Team Replay on some of these. I'm so glad you did not stop. Hi, Mama Dula. It's nice to have you here. Gosh, it's good to have you here. So, yeah, I'm glad you didn't stop. And he said, I read the book, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, which is a very cool story, a true story about a young boy in Malawi and what he's done since then. And then I introduced everybody to this website called Free Rice, where I used to have the kids at school answer questions, and it, for every right answer, it donates 10 grains of rice to the World Feeding Program and through the United Nations. And there's all kinds of categories, from math to sciences to history to art. And we were just trying to figure out different, like this is one of the questions here. Portrait of the artist is by, isn't that Mary Cassatt? I got it right! Yay! Self-portrait is by, who is that? The elder Jean Vermeer Rembrandt. No, is that Rembrandt? No, or is that Jean Vermeer? Oops, Rembrandt. I should have gone with my first guess. But, whoa. Stables. I'm going to go with that. Oh, Mark. Well, anyway, it was a cool site. We were playing with that for a little bit. And I'm going to go do some art upstairs. And then I was also muttering about the fact that there was a gray whale up in the Case Inlet up by my sister's house. And she got pictures and she didn't call me. So that's been the recap, Julie and Mama Doulis. That's all you miss, me muttering about my sister, me reading a story, and teaching you to play a game on Free Rice. Great trivia game and way to help. But yeah, Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. The book is amazing. The collage work in it. So think about that as a medium. If you use it, if you don't, what can you do? Layering, putting things together. We read about Sandy Alexander, or Alexander Calder, Sandy circus, and how he used wires and things. How does that work with your art? What are you doing with that? How different kind of things? I haven't seen anybody pour over a spring, like a little spring thing. Brrr. Yeah, who knows? Okay. Oh, T2IA. Nice. Good to have everybody here. Anyway, so that's what's up with me tonight. And I don't have an art activity tonight, but that's okay. We had a good story. Think about the collage, this free rice. I think you guys are going to like this. I want to, and if you give yourself your own login, you can keep track of how much you do. And I mean, there's a leaderboard, there's classes, there's schools. It's funny. It's interesting to see different schools compete against each other and stuff. It's fun to see this. So, yeah. And that's 2 bowls of rice. Yay! Helen, that's awesome. Do you know that means 2 kids? 2 kids someplace in the world are going to make it for another, that's amazing. Amazing. I would always tell the kids when they would come in, and they would come in the morning, I gave them like weekend challenges, and I had a group of kids that they didn't have television at their home. They didn't have any, the families that didn't have television, they read books, but they could have their Chromebooks, but they were really limited to educational things on it. And the kids were just absolutely amazing. I mean, some of my best students, and they always came and helped in the library. And those kids would come in, and they would set themselves like these 15-minute slots. Like they would give themselves this goal of, once they got all their chores done or all their homework done, or they'd done this, and that they could come in and sit down and do this for 15 minutes and then go off to do things. And they would come back the next week, and they had these charts to tell me how much they'd done and what they were, and they were like, it was so cool to see. Yay. I did tomorrow with my wife on her channel, Crunchberry's Playhouse. Yes, Crunchberry's Playhouse. That's very fun. Larry's wife's channel is very fun. Very fun. All right, you guys. I am going to sign off for tonight. And thank you for joining me for a trip to sub-Saharan Africa for the boy who harnessed the wind, and in our adventure into some free rice, and for listening to me mutter about missing out on seeing the great whale. I'm gonna keep, yeah, get over it, Gretchen. I can just hear my mom in my head, by the way. Tomorrow would have been my mom's 101st birthday. Wow. Yeah, so now she's telling me to get over it, and she's just glad she's still not around. Yeah. That was my mom. She was done when she was done. It was funny. So anyway, and to stop muttering about my sister. I love her dearly, but I'm just jealous. I'll admit it. I'm jealous. Where the whales would go by me, it is much deeper. And so they're swimming at a much deeper level, and there's a much more current. So where Sarah is, there's less of a depth of the channel. So their food source is closer to the surface. So, oh well. All right, you guys, it's been fun. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope everybody takes a little bit of time for yourself, takes time to take a deep breath, breathe in through your nose a lot. It's much healthier. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. I'll catch you tomorrow. And until then, Keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. It's everywhere. And it's inside you for sure. So I'll see you next time for another story. And I appreciate you, each and every one of you, for bringing me into your home and for coming on this journey with me. And until the next time, let's dance this party out.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh.
Mama Doolittle, where are you?
Drop
You're
dead
in
gorgeous,
right?
wow.
Is that right?
You got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous.
The
We
gray whales
could
are
be
over in
famous.
Alabama. Great people, my sister.
You blow my mind, looking like a model, better than the usual. Yeah, you don't even try, not average or typical. I put you on a pedestal. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cards, I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous.
Mama Doolittle, my daughter lives not too far from the airport. And I'm in Long Branch, so we're not close. Okay, meet up time. Mama Doolittle, I'm in April.
We could be shameless, famous, running
Keep Civic Center, we're having
with a love that leaves us weightless.
two waters.
Drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous. We could be famous.
So that Facebook page for Two Waters Arts Alliance.